we wanted to cover this ongoing saga that's been going on for Blade
since 2019.
Yeah, because they announced that he would be playing the role Mahershala Ali in 2019.
Ali.
Ali, yeah. And
Mahershala Ali.
And so we just got the announcement that Jan Demange is, like, if I pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry, but
I think you got it.
He or she, I don't know, the director. They are leaving the project, and they will be looking for their third director after this, and they are now on their sixth writer, I think. Is the case. The writer for Black Widow is now writing Blade, which is a really great sign because Black Widow was just written so well, you know.
So let's just kind of go through the people who have been attached to this project. So Mahershala Ali gets announced as Blade in 2019, which is 5 years ago.
Yep.
And we started off with the director Basim Tariq, who, you know, I don't really know most of the movies. You know, he had this one movie called Mogul Mowgli.
Okay.
And it seems like a lot of like kind of smaller named.
And I don't mind a director who hasn't done a lot. I mean, we've seen him come into the MCU and do really well.
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, he stuck around for a while, and then we move on to our writers, which we first start off with Stacey Osai Kafour, who, again, hasn't really done a whole lot of notable things. Eventually, they move on to Beau DeMayo, who did the writing for X-Men 97, and also most recently got let go, you know, weeks into or weeks before when X-Men 97 came out.
Right.
And then he like apparently had like plans to like, he already written like season 2 or something like that. But he was in the Marvel wheelhouse. Then we move on to Michael Starbury, who again hasn't done a whole lot of stuff that I can see. We have like Legends of Chamberlain Heights, and then the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete. Don't know these things.
Don't know these either.
And then eventually we moved on to a really exciting name, and this was only like months ago, which was Nick Pizzolatto, who had done True Detective, The Magnificent Seven. He had been attached to a lot of really cool kind of dark shows, and at least True Detective was the most exciting thing for me because I love at least the first season. Right. And I think even the newest season, which I don't know how much he was attached with that, but I really loved it. But then he moved on, and then eventually we moved on to Michael Green, which he's done some Blade Runner 2049.
That's another exciting one then.
American Gods, Blue Eye Samurai, which I've heard nothing but good things about. And then we eventually are on now Eric Pearson, who is, I guess, attached to Thunderbolts, some Marvel one-shots. Let's see.
So they went back to their wheelhouse.
Short films, Agent Carter, Thor Ragnarok, Godzilla vs. Kong, Black Widow, The Fantastic Four, Blade. So, and then he's got some uncredited rewrites for like Ant-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming. So this is like a kind of like in the Marvel. So
maybe he's come in not to totally rewrite the script, but maybe to correct things, tweak it, polish it so that it's where it's at. Because from what I hear, like the last report before Jan Demange left the project was that they have the story they want to tell. They just need to like fully write the script. And so I think because they have the story, they're just like, okay, we have this guy who's been in our wheelhouse for so long. He's had some success with things. He hasn't had some success with other things. Let's trust him and see where we can go from here.
Right. And I mean,
But
like,
it's not a terrible, strategy.
he like to be honest, like, out of all of these movies that he's attached to, like, the worst one is Black Widow.
Yep.
And like, maybe it's not it's not one of my favorite Marvel movies, but it's like, it's not horrible by any means, But like, what I wanted to say regarding this whole saga that's been going on. If I was Mahershala Ali, I would be so pissed and over this personally. Like, I really feel like by the end of this year, we might hear that Mahershala Ali is not going to be doing Blade anymore, and we're moving on to another actor.
That's the theory, because he recently signed on to film the Jurassic World movie, and people are like, I think the impression people have is that he's probably had to deny a lot of roles to stay open for this, because filming was supposed to start back in like 2022 at one point, and now it's starting in fall of 2024. And you're like, well, if the Jurassic World movie is coming out next year and it hasn't started yet, they have to film somewhat soon, and that could run into fall 2024. So it's not looking great for this production. I mean,
and he's 5 years older, and he was already like, I think he's like gonna be in his
like mid to late 30s. Whoa, no way. He's that old? I didn't know he was that old.
He is.
He's a young face.
He's 50 years old.
Wow.
He is 50. He was 45 when they announced this.
Do you know when Wesley Snipes was like what age he was when he played Blade in the first one? Because I would assume he was like mid 30s, 40 maybe at the most.
He was 36.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Maybe an older Blade is cool. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
But at this point, they can say that they have the story that they want. They just, the overall story, they just want to lock in like the screenplay. Whatever. I just don't is this movie really that important to do at this point? Like, I understand there's not a mandate anymore.
Yeah, that was one of the things we got announced, was that because there's no mandate for to make a bunch of movies, that they're now taking their time with this to make sure it's really
so what
great.
What have they been doing this whole time? Just like,
I don't know. They've been taking their time for a long time. So I don't know. Maybe it's BS.
Maybe something to do with the supernatural is like really important to them. But at this point, it's like, at what point do you just say, all right, we just don't have it, and maybe just put Blade in some other property. Like introduce him in the next Eternals movie or something with Dane Whitman. Or
you just you start doing like what DC is doing, and you can make movies that are outside of their universe, and you can just, hey, I just want to make a great movie and show it to you all, and it doesn't have to. Not every single movie we put out has to be connected to our universe. Yeah,
but it's already established that Mahershala Ali.
We heard his voice in an end credit scene. I don't think it's that established, I get what you mean, but
they're obviously are trying to build him in. But that was back in 2021, November of 2021. That was almost 3 years ago.
But that's the problem with so many properties, is that they'll throw something out and then we haven't heard anything for 3-4 years from it,
So I think it's very likely that it makes me really sad, because I thought he'd be great as Blade. But I do think too, yeah. I think that if they don't start filming by the end of the year, I think he's gone. Yeah. I think we get a new actor, and I know that Jordan Peele had just recently met with Marvel
to do X-Men, right?
And maybe he might be down for a Blade movie. I don't know. That would certainly be in the wheelhouse, or that would be in the realm of possibility, considering the movies that he does. Sure. And I would be down for a movie like that. But I just, if this movie is not put together and has a script set in place by the end of the year, I just say, like, let it go. Just, it's been 5 years. There's never been a MCU movie that's taken this long and lost this many writers and this many directors. And you have to, like, wonder, like, why has it had so many rewrites?
Right,
why
because
are there
the concept isn't hard to lock down? I mean, like, people say this all the time on social media, which is why I'm saying it. We just want to see Blade kill a ton of vampires. Like, the story doesn't have to be this amazing concept of a story. We just want some great action and you know, some cool set pieces and a decent to good story to go along with it. I think if you just hit that, you're hitting a lot of people's wants. I'm sure they want to tell an amazing story, but it's getting to be ridiculous. Too. I do want it, but, like, I think people are going to be happy enough with great action in a Blade movie. You know, I don't know. I think they made such a mess out of this that they're probably losing, like, respect out there, like, you know, as, like, from other studios and other actors, because who wants to be locked down to a role this long without doing anything? I mean, even I don't remember the exact quote, but even, like, his attorney came out recently and was like, this is probably the most insane thing I've seen in this business, where someone was signed to do a movie 5 years ago and it still hasn't started filming. So it's a bad look. I hope they get it right. I hope he stays on and the movie is amazing, so that it was all worth for something. But it's a sad saga at the moment.
Yeah. And you know, I like that they have somebody who's been known to, you know, help out with these movies. And, you know, I'm sure he's like a safe kind of bet.
Seems like it.
But yeah, I don't know if this movie's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it won't happen with Ali, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.